Welcome to another Seesaw Scenario with Eric and Mark Playground Rules show. Once again, welcoming our longtime friend, playground expert, and honored guest, Sean. The scenario today is lost in translation. That somewhere along the way, top performance, top shelf education, top tier training, top of the line service is not translating into promotion for the majority of the workforce that fit that mold. So much so that people of the caliber of Dr. Jordan Peterson are talking about it, bringing up phrases like, paraphrase, the opposite of meritocracy is legacy and nepotism. Year after year, across a plethora of fields, thousands of people report that what they were taught mattered as far as getting promoted hasn't seemed to have the advertised impact. We're not going to take the angle of blaming the employer and saying the executive is being a bully, although they probably are. We're going to give them one last benefit of the doubt and assume that we are doing something wrong, that we are not understanding something. So the scenario is, Mark and Sean, in no particular order, what is our surmise? Because quite frankly, there's either a whole lot of corruption and nepotism, or there is something that the majority of us are missing. The professional world is starving for an honest answer and finding it nowhere. Everybody I've asked in different workforces that has been able to get a promotion always answers that they believe they earned it, making such claims as it was their stellar performance and top-tier training and education that got recognized and promoted. The problem that I have with that answer is that I know several people that have that and beyond and are still struggling, not only to get promoted, but to make ends meet. And the facetiousness that comes in their tone as they imply that everybody that did not get promoted is not a top-tier performer. How say you, Sean and Mark, as playground experts successful in their own fields? There are good people that beat nepotism. How do they do it? How are they defining those terms?
Eric, this is a very important topic, and we've covered this to some degree in bits and pieces throughout some of our other podcasts. So when it comes to the merit-based society or working environments versus favoritism or nepotism, it's a complex, multifaceted topic. And there's a few points that I want to make regarding this. Nepotism has existed probably to some degree for thousands of years, maybe since the dawn of man. I mean, I think that nepotism is one of those situations where people are naturally probably inclined to favor their own family members or friends or even connections through, or when it comes to, hiring and promotions or any number of things. It's the way that people work. People, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I have arguments for both, but it's just a matter of, I think this is how people are wired to a degree, because they work a lot of times in communities and who knows who, word of mouth mentality. I think it's difficult to ever say that we're going to be able to shatter the whole nepotism thing or favoritism thing and be able to replace it with a complete meritocracy. I don't think that that's possible given human nature. I know it sounds a little bit skeptical about human nature, but I mean, it's hard to break a trend that's been going on for thousands of years. And I realize it's not a good trend necessarily, but it's, at least we're trying to get into the collective consciousness of people and have them consider, maybe there's another way. So I think that what the school system should really teach, and we're only seeing it really in bits and pieces, is that people can get the furthest by working smart in addition to working hard, or maybe in some cases working smart instead of working hard. If you come up with a solution, an idea to do something that doesn't require much effort, then you can put your effort or your energy into the next thing, right, that's coming up on the horizon. I think that the school system were to say, okay, so here's what the workplace is like. There are things like favoritism, nepotism. The world is not a just or fair place per se, no matter which side of social political issues you're on. It's really just not fair, seemingly, for just about anybody. Then you could come back and say, okay, well, what if we were to do this? Well, what if we were to do it to rise, through a combination of hard work, knowledge, experience, along the lines of merit, let's say, or doing a good job, not only the experience, but doing well for in a prolonged period of time, but also acknowledging that having some connections along the way and building some business relationships will help too. For example, my current role, I feel like I've achieved what I've achieved through merit. I also have experience and I have certifications in the line of work that I'm involved in. But at the same time, I know somebody in the organization. This person gave me a referral. And because I got a referral, it probably gives me more of the benefit of the doubt or a little bit more esteem or a reputation that precedes me coming in. So for me to say where I got is 100% just merit, I think that would probably be unfair because, again, I do know somebody in the organization. However, I don't believe there's been any favoritism in my direction. Maybe at the beginning, if I had some things to learn, they were patient with me. They gave me the benefit of the doubt. It's not an industry that I was initially familiar with. But I would say the combination of those factors, experience, high performance, and along the lines of merits, but also knowing some people, making connections, the importance of building business relationships in tandem with hard and smart work, I think is the way to go. And it's a much more grounded way of looking at things as opposed to the school system that we grew up with, which pretty much says, hey, you work hard and you're rewarded. It's really not quite that simple, and I think we all know the truth.
Hey, Mark, I really liked your response. Very thoughtful, and you went into good detail about nepotism. Some things in this world don't change, but I think what we can do is we can change, right? And in this, I can maybe give you two different answers. I can come at it from a different angle. One is like we can change. So if you're in a position, you're seeing being stagnant, you're being overlooked, you always have the option of changing to a different team, changing to a different organization where you can experience growth. So that's one option to solve the problem. The second thing is, yes, there is always the worldly principle, and then there is the kingdom principle. In the kingdom principle, it's very different, right? It's if you see the disciples or the saints or the leaders in the church, they were the most unqualified people or the people not fit for the job. But we all know, right? God calls people and qualifies them rather than calling qualified people. So you can always look at it in that sense that it's qualifications that don't take you far. It's actually sometimes the favor of God too, right? You need that too. The other thing also you can see is sometimes you're stuck in a place. It could be also that you're in a season of learning. It's like two examples come to mind, right? One is the bamboo shoot. If you look at the bamboo, how it grows, for 5 years, you don't see anything. And then suddenly it shoots up like few feet every year. And then there's no control. It just keeps growing and it keeps flourishing. The other thing also is like if you look at sometimes you may be stuck. It's like a rubber band, right? You're being held back for a season, but when you're let go, you just go flying, right? And then you may overtake all the promotions. You may jump 4 or 5 levels. So stay faithful, stay hopeful, and always do, right? Do unto, like they say, do it for God, right? Don't do it for the promotion. Don't do it for the credits. Do it for God. God is just, and in due time, you will reap the benefits and you will see your promotion. Thank you. And again, very insightful question. I hope this was helpful.